coming today to the sprint session of PD in your PJs. We are thrilled to have you here, and I'm really excited to introduce our presenter today, Andrea Birzer. And Andrea is a first grade teacher from Kansas. Please follow her on Twitter. She's got a great presentation set up for us here today, and I'm actually going to pass this presentation to her, and she's going to share all about how her students create and become a part of a news crew. And I think this is just a great idea to try out here at the end of the school year with your class as well. Looks great, Andrea.
Thank you, Angela. I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys today in this quick sprint session, and I am going to fill it up with 10 minutes of good info for you. In first grade here in my class, we do a lot of fun things, but one thing that our kids in our class love is putting on our student news crew. I was the teacher that would send out, news alerts on my Seesaw or whatever it was, and then I thought, what a great idea to allow students to do that and take some accountability and responsibility for that. And so that's exactly what we've done. We've created a student news crew, and they become reporters. They become the anchors, the recorders, and then they share their news. So I think you'll get access to these slides, but down here is a link where you can watch a sample of our newscast, and I'm going to walk you through our quick steps so that you guys can do this in your classrooms too. Before I get too started, I want to also just tell you that we did this in first grade, but think about how you could do this with any grade level. You could change this and modify this to meet your needs, meet your student age, whatever you need to do. But really, why did we do this? Why should you do this? Kids love it. It's really easy with all the right tools. It's great for everybody. But most importantly, it meets speaking and listening standards. It allows kids to develop some leadership skills, communication skills, and they are mighty, mighty proud to be on the news crew. It's so neat to see them take that accountability. So here we go. We're going to talk about the how part. So this is just what I do. Again, you can always modify this to meet your student needs or your student age groups. But very first, I have a news crew application that I pass out to my students if they're interested in being on the news crew. So from that, they are able to just tell me why they should be on the news crew and what skills they have. Again, if you're working with older kids, you could definitely amp this up in a lot of ways. So from that, I choose 3 kiddos who are interested in being on the news crew. I consider different reading levels, responsibility skills. I kind of choose a set of 3 that I know will work well together. And then those 3 will serve on the news crew for 2 weeks in a row. Each week we make a newscast production, but they will be able to kind of rotate jobs in their news crew position. So by doing that for 2 weeks, they're able to have some different roles. So from those 3 reporters that I've chosen, they then get together and they will decide which 2 will be the anchors and then the 1 that will be the recorder. But they all 3 will work together to serve as reporters to get news or information that they want to include. So then that takes us to number 2. And the 3 reporters will all work together to collect their notes for their news report. And so we talk about 3 different things we're doing in our classroom, so that's probably more academic stuff. We talk about our weather, we talk about sports, our favorite lunch for the week, any special guests we might have. Literally, the kids can open it up to anything. They can talk about anything they want as long as it is relevant to our class or our school or our community. So from there, then we also might contact outside sources. So we have a kiddo, his dad is a coach, and so we have interviewed him to kind of tell about sports in our community, or you could talk to other students in the building. The options are endless. Moving on to step number 3 as the week goes on, then we work together, the news crew and myself work together to prepare the script. So I'm typing because I'm a first grade teacher and my kiddos can't do that quite yet, but they're talking. So as they talk and turn their notes into a script, I'm typing and filling out this news report script template that I use. And so then we kind of prepare that script. I send it home with the reporters so that they can practice overnight. Also, another little tidbit is I remind them not to wear a green shirt on recording day so that they don't, become see-through on the green screen. But then when they come back to school on Friday, then we are ready to record. And so we have a time frame in our Friday where those 3 kiddos and myself will go into our recording space to record our news. To do that, you can see this picture here. The kiddos on the news crew are completely responsible for setting up their equipment. This might look a little bit different for you, depends on what you have. We just record in our hallway. It has great lighting. It's not always the most quiet, so we have to think about that too. But we use a green screen. We have a little table that they set up where are news anchors from, chairs, anything like that you might need. Those kiddos are responsible for setting all of that up. Then it's recording time. So our news anchors have their script and they're ready to go. But then our recorder, I will get them started using my iPad, but I'm always there just in case they need a little extra help. So it's pretty easy for us. All I guess 3 of us, 4 of us, the anchors, and then the recorder and myself, we can get through it pretty quickly. This is also a really good time when I can talk about their communication skills. So I talk to them about after they're reading, making good eye contact, using a good, clear, loud speaking voice. So by discussing a few of those things, kiddos are able to really practice those skills. So now that we've recorded, I use the green screen app called Do Ink. I know there's a lot of others that might work, but I find that one to be really easy. You can find a lot of Do Ink tutorials anywhere. I mean, their app has a great one, but you can find them on YouTube as well. I create images using PowerPoint and then I save them as a JPEG. So I'm able to create like the little image and then the backdrop that will be carried over into the green screen app. Those are simple things that you could do on your computer, but then I do the producing of the news crew segment on my iPad using the app Do Ink. And this is probably the trickiest part, but if you can just follow their tutorial, it kind of takes you through pretty easily. This is one area that I do because my first grade skill set in my students, they're not going to be able to do that quite yet, but I am certain that kids who would be older could definitely do the producing part of this by using the Do Ink app or another green screen app. And then of course, once you have that produced, click share and get it on your Seesaw account. So then from there you can share that with maybe a school newsletter or a school email list or put it on your Twitter account. But from there, once it's on Seesaw, you can put it on your blog. Lots of people can see it from there. So kiddos take a lot of pride when they are able to watch their news crew at the end of the week. I'm going to spend a couple of quick minutes. I went through all of the how parts, but now here's kind of a weekly timeline of what it looks like. Like I said, we record every week on Friday, but this view kind of helps you to see what we do each day so you can kind of map it out in your mind. So on Monday, I choose the 3 news crew members based on their applications. I announce that news crew, and then they work together to choose who will be the two anchors and who will be the one recorder. And then another reminder that we repeat that the following week, but I encourage them to kind of swap positions if they can. On Tuesday, the news crew gets together and they just continue to gather notes and news and information that might be relevant. That happens on Wednesday and Thursday as well. But on Thursday, we also get together then and we make the script together, send home the script for practicing, and then on Friday, we're able to do all of our recording and then the production, and then get it sent out and shared to everybody. So that was a quick sprint session, a sprint whirlwind of what it looks like for us to do our student newscast. I challenge you to think about how you could do this with any grade level in many possible ways. I think this is a great way for kids to take some responsibility for their learning, but also give them a creative outlet to really share their skills. So I would love to connect with you. Find us on Twitter. Also here on this, you'll find links to documents. Let me see if I can find them here so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. You'll have a link to this document that will share all of the items that we use, and you can easily modify them however you think that you need to. Also, you will find a blog post where you can kind of read a little bit more about what we do with our student newscast. So, Angela, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Keep your screen up and we'll just look at yours. But yes, you will, because you registered for this webinar, all of you listening live here, you are going to get the slides which have awesome links. So the link here on this last slide is great for you, and also the beginning kind of so you can see the newscast in action is great to watch as well. So keep an eye out for those, and if you are watching the recording, they are available, the slides, on web.seesaw.me/PDF. So we're going to take a couple minutes here for questions.